Hello and welcome to IIFL Securities. I am Anchal Pathak and we are here today to discuss our sector in focus, real estate. I am joined by Mohit Agarwal today. Let me give you a little brief about him. Mr. Agarwal is a lead analyst at IIFL Institutional Equities. He has 11 years of experience in equity research and covers real estate, building materials, and Indian politics. He is also a chartered accountant. So it's great to have you here with us, Mohit. So let's start with the first thought which is in my mind. Can you please help us understand what drives your optimism around the real estate sector?
Sure. Hi, Achal, and good afternoon to all your viewers. Fundamentally, we are seeing a sharp rebound in the sector, primarily in the residential space. And we've seen that in the second quarter fiscal 22, after a particularly muted first quarter FY22 due to the second wave of COVID. And we derive, this conclusion from broadly three things that we have seen in the market. So first being, there is a strong broad-based recovery in demand that we have seen. So this has been across the affordable, mid-income and luxury segments. Secondly, we are seeing very encouraging response to the new launches by listed developers. And you would have seen social media posts on how people are now back at site offices of developers in huge numbers, despite the pandemic still very much around us. And the third is improving property registration data across Mumbai. And we think that's important because it captures the real transactions happening on the ground. So we are now seeing that the second quarter bookings could be near to the levels that we have seen in fourth quarter. This is critical because fourth quarter is seasonally the strongest quarter in the year, and 2Q is the weakest because of monsoon. So you can imagine the amount of optimism that is already there amongst the home buyers, and we are reflecting that.
Right. So that sounds quite interesting, Mohit. But do tell us, how do the long-term prospects of this sector stack up?
So, our interaction with the developers indicate that the outlook remains robust, over a medium term, over 2 to 3 years. Two things, one is a continued strong demand on ground and consolidation within on the supply side, whereby the larger developers are getting bigger by the day. That, along with some measured price hikes, which we think will start, could drive at least 20 to 25% CAGR in bookings value. And this compares to about 9% CAGR in the last 3 years. So we are going to see a significant acceleration in the sales momentum, likely starting second half of fiscal 22.
Right. And historically, real estate companies have struggled with the burgeoning debt on their balance sheets. This, in turn, has affected their financial performance and kept investors at bay. Is the situation any different at the moment?
So you are right that the debt numbers has been a problem historically. However, if you look at the last 2 years between FY19 to 21. Based on the data that we track, we've seen that developers have been able to reduce the debt by more than 40% during this time through a combination of three factors. So obviously there has been strong operating performance, which has led to good collections and operating cash flows. Secondly, it has been a lot of equity raising has happened, as you would have noticed. A lot of developers have come in and raised equity over the last 2 to 3 years. The markets have been kind. And thirdly, there has also been asset sales. So by companies like DLF, Prestige, they've actually monetized their annuity or commercial portfolio, and they've raised money which has gone down to reduce the debt. So all these three factors have resulted in debt levels coming down. Now, going forward, the developers are quite mindful of not adding a lot of leverage or the mistakes that they've done earlier. And in that sense, we are seeing that developers are now adopting a asset-light model going forward, which would essentially mean that they would add a lot of projects based on joint development, where the upfront investment by the developers is relatively low. Also, what we have seen is due to this reduction in the debt, more than 40%, the borrowing costs of the sector has also come down, which was historically at a very high number. So we have tracked for the listed developers in the last 1 year alone, we have seen more than 1 percentage points reduction in the borrowing cost, which has led to improving profitability and bottom line.
Right. But the realty stocks have had a strong run and valuations are at an all-time high. So is it fair to say that all the positives are well baked into the current valuations?
So right. The NSE Real Estate Index is up about 60% year to date. All-time high, price to book ratio is more than 3.5 times. So while we do see a sharp improvement in fundamentals, we have already discussed that we see a 20-25% CAGR in bookings. We also expect the return ratios to improve, though there will be a lag with which, but we see a steady improvement both in the operating cash flows and the return ratios over FY21 to 24. And as these return ratios improve, we believe that real estate stocks could start trading at multiple base valuations versus currently they being trading at NAV based valuations. So I think then that could lead to a significant re-rating.
Right. So which stocks are best placed to benefit from improved bookings, and also what should the investors avoid?
Yeah. So see, within the sector, we have retained our preference for 2 stocks, which we rate as our top buys. Phoenix Mills and Brigade Enterprises. Now, Phoenix Mills, as you know, is a mall developer, and it has underperformed the NSE Realty and the Nifty Index year to date. But we believe it will benefit from opening up of malls fully in many states like Maharashtra, and also cinema halls, which are expected to open later this month, and also a gradual increase in fully vaccinated shoppers. So I think I think Phoenix will do a lot of catch up. In case of Brigade, we believe that the company operates on a very low debt. It's the lowest debt on the residential segment versus its peers, and enjoys very strong cash flow generation, and amid having a very strong, healthy outlook also on the growth front. So it's a very efficiently run residential business, which we like, and hence we rate that as our top pick within the residential and commercial space. In this report that we have released recently, we have downgraded Shobha and Oberoi to a reduced rating and Godrej Properties to a sell rating, primarily on expensive valuations. We also have an add rating on DLF and Lodha, primarily because while the valuations are expensive, we see their project pipeline to be very deep, and they have a very high quality land bank in NCR and Mumbai regions respectively. So we maintain our add rating on them.
Right, Mohit, thank you so much for that insightful discussion. I'm sure every investor will take away quite a bit from this conversation. And to all of viewers out there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.